Start your engines!
Just before but we need our stop. So
big crowd on hand, beautiful weather, and big stakes for the Geico 400. Jimmy Johnson leads him to the start.
He hasn't done it yet because he's got to do it at the start-finish line. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the only place it counts. I think he's going to get him here. Bold prediction on my part, huh? Might not. Let's see. Yeah, he's got him cleared. Dale Earnhardt Jr., remember, had to start at the tail end of the field after an engine change. After qualifying, Earnhardt Jr., the biggest mover in the race so far. Looks like he's got a pretty sporty race car in the early going, Vince.
That's exactly right. He's up 20 spots already. Crew Chief Steve Letarte was very confident of the race car that he had. He said, I think we've got a top 2 or 3 race car today. The only problem is we're starting so far back, we want to make sure we avoid the trouble getting to the front.
5th place changing hands.
Yeah, I talked to Brian Patty, crew chief for Clint Boyer, in that 15. He said these mile and a halves hadn't really been their strong suit, but this week, he said they had a lot of speed in that car. He sounded very confident this morning.
Martin Truex Jr., he's going the opposite direction of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Truex started 16th. He's fallen all the way back to 23rd here. It's just been plowing. Martin said it doesn't feel any different, like it's on the splitter, but it must be. And after looking at the lap times, crew chief Chad Johnston feels the same. They're going to have some major work to do on the 56 the first time they come down pit road.
Leader into the tail end of the field and putting some cars a lap down, including Danica Patrick, about to go a lap down to Johnson. Danica running in 35th. Greg Biffle sliding all over the place while Dale Earnhardt Jr. continues to move toward the front.
Yeah, Biffle definitely struggling, but
Junior had a close call here.
Yeah, we also saw this with Junior. Like he made pretty good contact right there. Evidently, it didn't hurt the car too much. He's still passing cars. At least he passed Greg Biffle.
That's Trevor Bayne in the 21.
That's a pretty good lick.
still there, head for shore.
Travis Kvapil had a little trouble on his pit stop that extended back out onto the racetrack and came back around to pit road with him. Speedy car, speedy work by the pit crew.
That's a great pit stop. 11-8. His team really stepping it up for him.
Yep,
this is when it counts.
His job. Yeah.
It counts right now in the chase. These guys really need to get it done on pit road.
Picked up 5 on that exchange of pit stops the whole cycle.
Looking for 2 tires also in the 2 car and the 48 2 car. So they're still a little too loose getting off. Can't get in the throttle. Jimmy Johnson said air pressure change. And he is down the way. Great pit stop for the 48. The 2 now going 4 tires. Left side going up on the 2 car. Still on pit road. And now here comes Brad Kay out and away.
2-tire stops being played by some. Brad Keselowski going to lose some track position with a 4-tire call.
Tony Stewart back on pit road. They were having a vibration. They wanted to make sure the lug nuts and the tires were okay. They had made a 2 right side tire change a moment ago. Thought he had a problem with a vibration. Decided to come back in and take a look at the left side. And now they put left side tires on as he heads out as we're getting ready for 1 to go. Alan?
Casey Kane inside of Jimmy Johnson for the race lead. Johnson chose that outside lane as his choice on the restart. He's hanging on for the moment. Jeff Gordon, 24. Clint Boyer, 15. 5th place. Mark Martin right with him in the 55.
They were able to help Gordon on the entry to the corner. Whatever adjustment they made on the green flag pit stop really freed his car up getting into the corner. That's where he was not happy with this car. Looks like it's much better here to start this run.
Denny Hamlin looks like maybe that 2-tire change is not agreeing with his race car. He's lost a couple spots.
It may not, but I've watched some of the other cars, the leaders especially. They're running some of the fastest laps they've run all day on 2 tires. So I think that's encouraging for some people that might want to try this when you have 20, 25 laps maybe on a set of lifts.
Brad Keselowski says the car really tight overall on entry and exit. They made it 4 tire change last time. Watch and see if they go with 2 this time. Thinking about it, the low end, Jimmy Johnson will come in and make a chassis adjustment, 4 tires. Jimmy said grip level is still an issue, still free entering and free off. Chassis adjustment, slide air pressure, Johnson's away.
Couple of 2 tire stops in there.
Not nearly as many as we saw the last time.
But Kevin Harvick's team, most notably, going for a track position grab to get him up toward the front. 2 guys not in the chase, running in 3rd, check that, in 4th and 5th positions at the moment. Both driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Joey Logano 20, Kyle Busch 18.
Yeah, both running very well in front of their teammate that is in the chase, Denny Hamlin.
How about the 18, Dave?
Well, for crew chief Dave Rogers, it was tough, Alan. You just really started it off there. I asked him how he recovered this weekend, what he said to the team. He said, I talked to folks individually, but on Wednesday, I got everybody together. And I told them, listen, I made a mistake. Does anybody have anything they want to air out right now? He said they looked at me like I was crazy and said, no, we didn't lose our chase race at the Richmond race. We had other problems during the year. So they didn't lay it all on Dave right there, even though he admits the mistake. They are recovering, and they are fast this weekend.
Kevin Harvick, they have been battling loose all day. They went with 2 tires on that last stop with a wedge adjustment also, and Kevin says that was not the answer. It is as loose as it has been all day long. Harvick, 15th. He's got his hands full right now.
Greg Biffle, race for 13th spot with Kevin Harvick right there.
Yeah, and I know this is not the day Greg Biffle was looking to get this chase started. He was very confident coming that they had a cars and a team that was going to come here and challenge to win and put themselves in first and take the chase from there.
And this kind of racetrack has been a strong suit for that team this year. Haven't missed a minute of this great race for the lead. Brad Keselowski finding a way to hold off Jimmy Johnson, despite Jimmy having fresher left side tires than Brad when they last pitted at lap 102.
That's one of the things I love about Brad Keselowski is the way he can hang tough. When things aren't just perfect, he's got 2 tires, Jimmy's got 4, and Jimmy's led most of the laps today, but he's not going to just give it up, lay over and give him the spot. He's going to race him as absolutely as hard as he can.
No, it's smart enough to know that if he gets in the middle of the racetrack there and he gives Jimmy the bottom, Jimmy's car's a little on the free side too. It's going to be very difficult for Jimmy to make that pass on this 2 car. But Brad Keselowski is not only a driver, he's a thinker too, Doc.
Continues on the 16 for Greg Biffle, saying he wants to go back on those changes a little bit. There's caution on the track as Greg Biffle completes his pit stop here.
Got a car on the wall in turn number 2. It's Casey Mears. Caution in the middle of a series of green flag pit stops.
I believe Kyle Busch is going to be the driver that's going to come out of this in the best shape on the lead lap because he made his pit stop. He'll be able to stay out there.
And that's a pretty good looking hit for Casey Mears.
The car that I've seen falling back that was up in the top 10 for much of the day, that's Matt Kenseth, and he is way back, and there's a lot of lap cars that
I think it fell off when we were doing the wave around because I felt something at the start-finish line. Bounce, I don't know what it was. Must have been a shock. I don't know which side it was.
It sounds like he's got a mechanical problem with the chassis somewhere.
He's got some kind of problem because he's just continued to fall back.
All right, this might explain this, because when I talked about them adding laps of caution to send a cleanup truck out, the report was it was a shock absorber that they picked up down here by the start-finish line. And there you see something coming either out from under or being run over by the 17
That's
car.
That's definitely a shock. Absolutely. That's not good.
Matt Kenseth, now the last car on the lead lap, in 24th position. Not shocking, considering the situation we've been following with this 17 car.
There's the shock. Okay, now here's the situation. They have lost the right front shock in that car. Jimmy Finnick, the crew chief, told Matt that they believe the top eyelet on the shock broke. So they're going to have to come in and replace that right front shock.
Running in 4th position, sails off into turn 1 and kept sailing into the outside wall.
And Jeff's having a great run, but right there you can see him just locked up the front tires, the throttle hung. That's usually a bad deal.
There's not a worse feeling as a driver to barrel off in the corner, get out of the throttle, and the car not slow down.
There are some safeguards that are built into the electronic fuel injection just for that. That may be why it wasn't any worse than it was. Once that thing hangs, there's
Well,
just
stuck,
nothing.
guys. We're done.
Not
What
enough
happened?
brake.
The throttle's stuck.
While after their pit stops, look at Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson as they come back onto the racetrack.
Keselowski was all the way down on the apron on the front straightaway trying to make this pass.
Keep that in mind if things cycle out.
Let's get it done.
Are you allowed to come up on the track that early? Oh, sir, he did not wait till his blend line. Inside. Man, you screwed me up coming up on the track that early.
So what Jimmy is talking about, and the conversation from the spotter on the roof, Earl Barban, as we see the look at it.
Well, you're not supposed to blend till you get off turn 2, and I believe that's about where he was. I'm sure it was close.
NASCAR has looked at the situation with the 2's exit of pit road, reviewed the videotape, and said all good. The duration of the race today, Jeff Gordon running in 4th position at lap 187 when the throttle stuck partially open on his car, screaming off into turn 1. He clobbered the wall. Jeff fortunately okay. You see he's in 35th place coming back onto the racetrack, trying to see if he can overtake a couple of the other cars like Dave Blaney and Regan Smith that have dropped out with engine troubles in the late stages of the race and pick up a couple of more points toward the championship.
Yeah, this doesn't ruin his championship chances, but he's going to have to win at least 2 races now to make up for that, to get himself back in this battle.
Brad, the guy who led the second most laps but was trailing Jimmy Johnson heading into the final pit stops, and he made up a 1.1 second deficit to wrestle the lead away from the 5-time champ coming off the pit lane, and he's pulled away from there. 4th win of the season, chase win #1, Chicagoland to Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, great job, everybody.